morning.
And that means it's time for the Rotten Mournings
Podcast!
The best way to start your morning off rotten.
Podcast!
And welcome back to another episode of what are we calling the fucking show again?
Rotten Mornings.
Rod and Mornings. Rod and Mornings. I'm Scott.
I'm Matt.
Yep, we are Scott and Matt. And we're also...
Brandy went, huh?
I'm Brandy.
And I and Brandy. So there you go. If you guys know who we are, we'd like to know who you are.
Sound off at the end of the episode.
Or right now.
Nope, at the end.
You can do it right now if you'd like to.
We won't listen.
So we've got some pretty cool stuff. If you guys checked out the other podcast, those were good.
So, yeah.
So for Rotten News, we've got a slow news day. Slow news day. Have you guys? Do you guys have TikTok? Yeah, we did a live.
Well, I can do some, not necessarily dates and times, but I can tell them what we do have that we're starting to work on now. And that we are still writing on the script that we're going to eventually shoot at Hellbilly Hollow.
And by writing, you mean?
Looking at a picture and thinking about Scott.
I miss my friend.
We're also working on the restarting the Rotten and Grim Kids
Yeah.
for season 2.
Okay.
And we actually have a few skits already ready to go for that.
Yeah? They already shot, filmed, in the can?
That's what we'll be doing today.
Oh. Today?
Did you say in the fucking can? Because I told you I'd have hit you every time you said that. So
You didn't say that. You said that to someone else.
No, it was you.
You didn't say that to me.
Yes, I
Beer
did.
can.
Yep. Europe. Cigarette.
Yep.
Cool. So, Rotten and Grim Kids,
Season 2.
season 2?
Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I think that would have their second season?
It
Oh, God,
didn't.
no. There's only 5 episodes.
I thought there was only 4.
5.
Yeah. Very forgettable. Yeah. So, look forward to that when that comes out. Guys, it's crazy. We used to do this thing by the seat of our neck and
The neck of our pants.
yeah, by the neck of our, what is it?
Pants.
And then now we literally were sitting around discussing October scheduling and programming.
Are you implying that we didn't do that before and still failed when it came to October?
Yep.
Yeah, because that's what we normally do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. We actually have a name of a show that will be. We have 2 shows already for October. Yeah, we have there's the podcast, and then there's the strippies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something like Saturday morning animation or something.
Why on God's name, Earth? God, all right, first, oh my God, I don't know how quick you can murder yourself, but do it quicker than that. But really, really outdo yourself. You're an all-star.
You're an all-star.
Now.
So, you guys ever made a movie before? You ever filmed a thing? You guys listening? Have you ever gotten together with some people that were like-minded and said, "Hey, let's just turn the camera on and come up with a little idea and try to put it together and then edit it and then put it out there and just see what happens." It's a wild experience. It's not for everybody, but
It's not. I also would love to say that this is just something that popped into my head because I hear about this all the time. And I've talked to a few different people in the past couple of weeks about this, is that, you know how when you work at a restaurant, if you're a server and somebody comes in there and they're like, super disrespectful, and they think that you need to just definitely serve them with the best intentions, yada, yada, yada. And then you think, like, you know what? I wish that person had to work as a server for like a day or a week just to kind of get an understanding of what it is. Guys, I want you to take 10 hours of footage and edit it in a timely manner, and then come to me and ask me how much longer it's going to be before I get something edited.
So, I mean, I respect that, and I understand the frustration in that. We've never been that. We do what we do out of a passion for
Yes.
it. We love what we do. We will bitch about it. We will complain about it. We will be tired. We will be grumpy.
But we only
Still
do that
choose to do it.
so we still feel like it's a job. So that way we're motivated to do it at all.
Yeah.
Is that how motivation works?
I mean, it seems to.
Yeah. That's how it does it.
I know that every job I've ever had I hate, but I put more effort into than anything else that I do.
Yeah.
Well, there
that's
is
true.
that.
Yeah, definitely not your friendships. The
Who? What? What's a
What's that?
old Spanish.
Oh,
Old
really?
Spanish ship. Yeah.
That's a fun ship.
Lollipop. No, I only bring it up because, like, a lot of people are like, man, I love what you guys do. Well, what we do is we come up with an idea, we grab a camera, we put somebody in front of it. Sometimes it's just us in front of our own camera. And then after that, we take it and we edit it into something that makes sense of what we just filmed. And we put it up there. And this isn't like, you all have devices that are capable of this.
Yep.
Because the devices that we're using currently, we're both using the top of the line of the particular brands that we use for cameras.
Yes.
But we're not making quality that even comes close to those pieces of equipment.
No, God, no. I would say, like, to what you're saying is that when we first started making movies, we didn't have anywhere near the technology that we have right now. We hadn't, like, hardly anything. We just had the want to do. And we did.
Mom's VHS recorder.
Yeah, and a couple of VCRs.
Yeah.
But I guess you're getting it. You can do it too.
Sure.
The whole thing is, like, when you try to make something and you say, oh, I want it to be this big over the top thing, you've overshot anything that you can accomplish.
I disagree.
But you're already, like, saying,
You
like,
have to
you're going to
start
look at it
small.
and you're going to be like, this isn't what I wanted.
No,
Don't-
that's fair. That's super fair.
Well, when you go into it saying, I want it to be this thing, you've already set a standard that you're more likely going to get discouraged for finishing that thing because you want it to be this grandiose experience.
Right. And I agree with that. But I would say that, like, if your idea is, I want to shoot the Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
You can shoot a Lord of the Rings movie.
Yes.
You can do that tonight in your room.
Yes.
It will not be the same one mostly because you can't get Legolas.
Well, I think, like, your
And you don't have
terminology
that budget.
itself is the contradiction there. Like, if you want to shoot a Lord of the Rings thing, you can do it. If you want to shoot a Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings thing, you can't do it.
Because you're not Peter
You're not
Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
What?
Yeah, you're
fuck
not
did you-
fucking Peter Jackson.
Dude, I have said don't say that on the air as my online personality. Peter Jackson.
I'm just what I think Scott's saying is that if you want to make something, make something.
You can achieve your goals. Just start in steps. Go with step one.
But,
Start
like,
small,
you know,
and build your way up.
Look at somebody like Mike Rowe who says, you know, all these people go to school and they want to be rocket scientists and surgeons and teachers, but nobody says, I want to be the guy that cleans out the tanker of waste. But you've got a great job doing that. You make great money doing that. And it was, you didn't shoot for, oh, I'm going to be this, you know, I want to change the way people, you know, blah, 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 blah. You just start doing it.
Yeah.
And through doing it, you became better at it, and it became a part of what you, technically enjoy, but
I like getting paid.
but your livelihood of it.
Yeah.
And so again, that's why I say don't go into it these grandiose, like over the top, I'm going to succeed at making this or that. Just make. Because if you're not making, you're definitely not succeeding.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing, is that people don't realize, like, if you want a product, okay, a product's just a product. That means anybody can make that product and give you that product, and now you own that product. But a process is a different thing.
And you don't realize what you're capable of if you don't try.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So, guys, if you want to do some rotten shit, if you just want to try some rotten shit, just make a thing. Just do a thing. And like, there's no, when you make a thing, there's no judge for if it's good or not, because nobody can tell you it's not a thing.
Yes.
All you did was make a thing. You had a process, you had a journey, and at the end you have a product, right? And nobody can say it's not a product. They can just say it's a really bad one.
Yeah. And you could always take the rotten stance and just go ahead and tell everybody that your product is bad. So then that way when they tell you, they're like, keep ripping us off, guys.
Yeah, keep ripping us off.
Yeah, because I said that first, and you just saw that, and now you're saying it. Yeah. So I understand where you get that modus from.
Yeah. Here's my movie. Let me tell you everything wrong with it before you watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. We're probably the biggest critics that we have, because we're the only ones who watch our stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
But guys, at the end of the day, we have a thing that we've made. We are not in any way special because we have a thing. We are not better than anybody for anything that we've done. The only thing is that if you haven't done a thing and made a thing, and we have, we're just on that step of the journey, and you're on this step of the journey, and we were on that step of the journey too. Yep. We're not farther along than you or anything like that. Just, man, I don't know why I wanted to get on this tangent today, but like,
I feel you. But like for me, like most of the stuff that is out there that is so overly made because of those expectations, I've just become jaded to it. I don't like it anymore. I like slush. I like trash.
It's more of an emerald shade, though.
What the hell does that mean?
So you think that you're mostly jaded, but I'm seeing.
Oh my God, I hate you so bad.
It's not a turquoise per se, more an emerald.
You're more of a dick bag. That's brown with poop in it. It's kind of like a taco.
What? First of all, the more you say, the less you say. Anyway, guys, that's rotten news.
The news is we're going to continue to make subpar shit and talk more garbage about the stuff we make. I fucking hate people that make stuff and hold people accountable as if it's like, hey, I made this amazing thing. Why isn't somebody looking at it? What the hell? Like, your problem is expectations, man. Yeah. Stop expecting that to be a thing.
It's also fucking arrogance. You think your thing is great enough for somebody to look at? Shut the fuck up. You didn't enjoy making it? If you enjoyed making it,
then it's made, then you've done it.
You finished.
I mean, do I think that strips is a fucking amazing? No. Do I think it's mass marketable? Not at all.
What?
But do I think that it's fucking amazing that we have achieved that? And do I enjoy going back and watching it and enjoy actually each episode? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. That's sad. Guys, if you have anything that's good to watch, please send it to Matt.
Yeah. That'll be at rottenmournings.com.
.com? It's not even a...
.com your ass down. This is garbage.
Oh my God. That's fair. Yeah. But no, it's just, people are like, hey, I want to do something rotten. Don't jump into a project that we're already doing. Like, do your own project. That's the most rotten thing you can do. You know what I mean? Like, there are obviously going to be opportunities where we would love some help on some stuff and stuff like that. But, like, your baby is going to be your baby. and you're going to make a thing that you're going to make, and it's going to suck. But like, don't be afraid to be stupid.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's what holds so many people back. They're like, oh man, I want to do this, but it's stupid. Here's my other pet peeve. Fuck, dude, this has just turned into a rant. But here's my other pet peeve is when people say, I want to do this. No, you don't. You'd like to do that. You're interested in doing that. You think doing that would be neat, but you don't want to do it.
Because you'd be doing it.
Because you'd be doing it. You'd absolutely be doing it. I tell this story all the time. This guy told me, he was like, man, you're from Vegas. That's awesome. I would love to go to Vegas one day. And I was like, well, what'd you do this weekend? Man, I went to the clubs. I spent like $500.
Well, I agree and disagree. I think those are two kind of separate things. Because like if I said, man, I would love to go to Vegas. And then you're like, well, why don't you? And it's
no,
like,
that's
well,
different. You said I would love to.
You just said that. He said, I would love to go to
Vegas.
Vegas.
I'm sorry. He said, I always want to go to Vegas. Is
okay,
what he said.
let's say that I say that. Like, I want to go to Vegas. And you say, well, why haven't you? And I say, well, I've gotten trouble in this or that. And there are people there that want me dead. Like, then in that particular case, or, hey, I don't even have a car or I don't have money. Like, in that particular case. But when it's a want to do something, you have all the resources to do it. Not necessarily travel. Like if I said, I want to wash my dishes. No, I don't. I haven't washed my dishes.
In 38 years.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, there is a bit of a difference because you don't want to put the burden of, hey, if you want to do it, just go out and do it. That's really easy to say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I stand by it, though, is that if you say, this is something I really want to do. If it's something you really want to do, it's something you're actively going for. You may be going, hey, I want to do that. I already have a plan to do that after I finish these things or after I get this, but that's my plan to do that. Okay, cool. I accept your want. If you say I want to do that, I'm okay, well, what are your steps to get there? I don't know. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think that's fucking lip service. I think that's people having a conversation and that's a social construct.
People do that all the time, though. They'll say...
It's like trying to say, hey, I have this in common with you, or I am agreeing to common grounds on the topic you're talking about so we can continue this conversation. If you came to me and said, blah, 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 this and that about Vegas, and then I told you, well, I hate Vegas. I never wanted to go there. Does that conversation with you imparting your information about Vegas upon me end at that point? Because now you think I don't give a shit.
No, I've never cared.
Well, that's different for you.
Okay.
I'm just saying some people believe they need to move a conversation forward to say, hey, I have fair. A similar interest in this.
That's totally fair, but it's not. I don't think that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people who, like, even without prompted, will say, oh man, I want to be a better artist. You're not even fucking drawing. What do you mean you want to be a better artist? Or like, I want to perform this. Well, what are you doing to perform that? Like,
I think that also goes into the idea of like quabbling over terms. Like you might want to be a better artist.
What the fuck does quabble mean?
Quabbling over terms.
Quibble.
You might.
Do you think quabble is a word?
I just did. I said it. It has to be a word, or I wouldn't be able to speak it.
Yeah, but you could say...
Yeah, agreed. That's a word now.
Well,
you just said it.
I don't like it.
But
I don't either.
When you say, like, I want to do something, you need to separate that term into, I desire...
That's my point.
...for it, but I do not work or put effort
and
into it.
That's why I say, like, my personal pet peeve is I don't like it when people say, I want to do this. I would prefer if they said... I have an interest in this, or that's something that's always appealed to me. I wished.
Yeah.
Because wish is just
Nothing.
like witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could say, I wished for $1 million.
Yeah.
You're not trying to achieve $1 million. You're trying to get that immediate, like...
Gratification. Yeah. You know what's so funny about that, too? I feel like so many people would take $1 million and would not have $1 million roughly 7 days later.
Oh, I wouldn't have $1 million 7 days later.
What would you spend $1 million on?
Oh man, everything.
You would buy everything.
Literally everything. I would buy costumes, makeup, new computer, new cameras, a green screen setup, yada 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 yada. I would do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then that way I don't have the money to like, hey, I've got money. I don't have to do anything. Now I have stuff. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be afraid that...
I would pay rent and bills for a certain amount of time in advance so we could sit, and I would go out to eat a lot.
Oh, okay.
Pay off my car, all that fun stuff.
I like it. Well,
This has been rotten news again.
yeah. So guys, that's rotten news. Anyway, if you hit like and subscribe, you have a chance at winning $1 million. That's what I wanted to announce.
Yes, we will
know.
wish you $1 million also.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have a chance of winning $1 million regardless of whether you listen to it or not. But definitely if you do listen to it, you have a chance of $1 million just appearing in your life.
I don't agree with
Make sure you like and subscribe. Ring that little bell. And turn on notifications.
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 All right, guys. We got to go to commercial break. Is that okay? Can we go to commercial break? You guys okay with that? Cool. Well, guys, if we don't see you after the break, I'm just really enjoying these sponsors.
Are you?
Yeah.
Or just really shoehorning them?
Yeah. Hey guys, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah. Woo. After that commercial break with all of our sponsors, got to pay the bills somehow. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the $1 million yet, but we did subscribe.
No, we didn't.
That's true.
I did.
Brandy's
Brandy
subscribed.
did.
She's the one that's going to win the $1 million. Yeah.
No, I think it means I'm the one that has to pay the $1 million.
That's also probably true. So here's a fun thing. We're in the pop culture urban legend section of the podcast. And today we're going to talk about some of the hidden imagery that was possible in Disney and films and animation.
Animation across the board.
Yeah.
Those adult themes that maybe they're adult themes and maybe we're just extremely dirty-minded. Yeah.
The one that I would like to start with, we got a lot to cover today, so I'm really excited. But the one I want to cover first, let's cover the Rescuers.
Okay. The Rescuers is one of those incidences where you can easily say that was not, you didn't interpret that one way or another. It wasn't accidental. It was purposely put there, and it is exactly what it is.
Yeah. So, and this was in the Rescuers Down Under. They're on like a mining cart or something. I'm trying to think if it was a mining cart or roller coaster.
It was in the city area.
Well, they're like going down this thing, and they
I thought it was when they were back on the back of the Albatross in the city in part 1.
Oh no, I think it's part 2.
The Rescuers Down Under was in Sydney, Australia.
Yes.
The first Rescuers was in downtown New York.
We don't even know what fucking movie it is. Thank you for tuning in for all these facts.
I think the first one is just called The Rescuers.
It is.
The second one was The Rescuers Down Under.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, but where was the nudity in?
In The Rescuers.
In
yes,
the first
one.
one.
When they're in the downtown city.
I was trying
area.
to tell you.
That's not what you said, you idiot.
Matt.
It's in Australia. There's no buildings in Australia. The scene was in.
What do you mean there's no buildings in Australia?
Now,
Not in the Rescuers Down Under.
If you go to watch it now, Disney has taken it out, which also means that they admit to it.
Yeah.
But it also existed on the fucking Kong ride.
Oh,
What?
Really?
Yes. In Universal Studios, on the Kong ride, when you go through the city, that same thing was in one of those windows at a point. And
Wow.
Was it in a window or was it just like posted up?
No,
No,
it was
it's,
in a window. It was like you were looking into someone's window.
Let
It's
me
the
pull it up.
image of a non-animated topless woman in one of the windows they soar past as they're flying through the city.
Yeah.
All right, and do we recognize them woman parts? Do we know who it is?
Why are you looking back and forth and asking that question?
I can't access my phone.
My name's not Google.
Guys, you heard it here first.
It's like an unrecognizable because it's so like out of focus. It was like very small polygons, but you can definitely tell it is a topless woman.
Yeah. Did you pull up the picture?
I didn't.
Damn it. Did you pull up the picture?
I don't have the picture.
Oh, I thought
You have to spell rescuers. Oh, wait. I know how to
That's the
spell
only thing
rescuers.
it shows me.
RESC.
PCT.
Rescue Aid Society. Reach up
What the
high,
fuck is
touch
happening?
the sky.
I'm not. There's no part of this I'm enjoying.
That's it.
Yeah. So anyway, this was the first one that we wanted to talk about. Was in The Rescuers, not Down Under, like Matt said. And,
You're such a dick.
No, I was wrong on that one. Matt was right. And they go past a scene, and
I mean, it's so. That's what it looks like. I mean, you can tell it is breast.
It goes past really
you
fast.
know
Really
what?
fast.
You know what that looks like? That looks like a Noxunamun from Mummy.
Yeah, okay. That was way after the fact, but.
I don't know that it was.
Uh-huh. Which Mummy? The Brandon Fraser Mummy?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Rescuers came out?
Yeah,
When?
I remember it.
Okay, that's I can't dispute that.
That's fair. So this is an example of something of nudity actually existing in Disney.
Yes.
Now,
Rescuers was made in 1977, before I was born. I guarantee you the Mummy was not out before I was born.
I vaguely remember.
How do you remember that?
No, listen. I vaguely remember the Mummy was playing in the hospital room when I was born. And
That's not possible.
And,
we were born on the same year.
and actually, I think
The
Brendan
Mummy
Fraser
came
is
out
our
in,
age.
like, 90-something. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure that the girl that was in the Mummy is actually younger than us, and so
Patricia Heaton,
no, the girl that played the
Noxunamun.
oh, is that her name?
Yes.
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I was kind of giving you context clues there.
I forgot how much you loved that movie.
Everybody loved that movie.
That's why there's more of them. That's why Brandon Fraser is now known as the Mummy guy.
He's in 4. He's in part 4. He's playing the Mummy.
I hate you.
You know, they said, I read this article, and it said, Brendan Fraser's been tapped for Mummy 4. And I'm like, what'd they get out of him? Sweet molasses?
I love that statement. Oh, he's been tapped. Hilarious.
Like, he's been tapped, but we've been screwed. Cool. So, Brandy's straight up hating this entire...
Well, so far we've gone 6 minutes and talked about one thing that we said was our exact topic.
You know what? Challenge accepted. We can go 7. All right. So another one that we could talk about is The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
And there's a couple of them there, right?
Well, first of all, the cover of the movie. I know they've changed it, but I remember it being fairly inappropriate when it came out.
What was inappropriate
Does
about it?
anybody remember the original cover?
Oh, yeah.
There was a penis for one of the spires of the
Was it
underwater-
just one?
Yes. One specific one.
One that looked...
That had like a penis's head and the curvature of a penis.
Yeah. Yeah, like the little penis arms and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The split penis. Yeah. Let's keep going down this route. It's going to be your favorite part of this one. Let's talk it until Scott's uncomfortable with it. That's what I normally go for. Let's just go ahead and start this by saying that Scott started on this.
No, I did not. You said Rescuers Down Under. Here's the thing, which is an obvious porn reference. So yeah, in the clamshell VHS cover, there was a penis. Now I don't know if that was on the movie poster in the cinemas.
I think that there was
I don't know
at a
for sure
time
about
that
that.
the poster was like that.
Yeah.
Why do you have to get the squeaky thing?
But also, we remember the clamshell. Because now, Walt Disney films, when they came out on VHS, they came out in like a collector's clamshell, which is a type of packaging for a VHS. And a VHS is like a piece of plastic.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. If you're keeping up, you already know what a VHS is. We went into extensive...
Yes.
And Rescuers that actually fall under the heading of most paused movie because of that fact also.
We're not talking about that anymore.
Because we did that last week.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Well, y'all did that last week. I did not contribute last week.
So
I did listen to it, though.
there was some back and forth about why that happened. Matt is yelling at Brandy.
My dog has to get the loudest fucking toy. Go get one that doesn't squeak.
That doesn't squeak.
She just wants to be on the podcast.
That's her version of imitating Grimm screaming podcast.
Yes.
Podcast. I guess. So now the story on that is the artist had come out and said, "Hey man, that's not a penis," or was that?
It was supposed to be like a mushroom, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's underwater stuff. If you look at like sea cucumbers, if you look at like other underwater structures,
We can
All
find
bits.
phallic
Easily
symbols
find-
all around the universe.
like
that is
what's
for sure.
what's the human term for seeing faces and stuff?
Paraphobia.
Yeah, it's not a phobia though. It's
It's
Foria? Something Foria. I don't remember.
we every time we have to Google this.
every damn time because it doesn't sound like a cool enough word.
Well, there is another
Is
part.
it pareidolia?
That seems right. Yeah, pareidolia.
Dolia.
Yeah, that's
But
that's
now
what I said.
We've progressed as a society away from pareidolia and
Dolia.
into
Penis
phallidolia.
dolia.
Phallidolia
Because everything we see
is
becomes a
phallic-like.
penis to me.
But okay, so there is another phallic symbol, I guess you could say, in The Little Mermaid,
Another paused scene in the movie.
which is where the priest during the marriage ceremony has an erection.
A little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one was, hey guys, look at the priest dick, and if you watch the film and actually watch it and not just look at that one screenshot, it's not.
Yeah.
True.
That's his knee. It's very obviously his knee and not tiny.
Well, and that is what Disney came out and said. But at the same time, whereas once you know what they say, it does seem like the shift of a knee, but you don't see his feet move. How do you shift your knee and not move your feet?
Well, not to mention how often.
How do you move
Disney...
your penis and not move your feet?
Oh my god. Because your penis is connected to your feet does not mean everybody's penis is the same. Your penis has little arms on it, okay? That's not normal.
Oh, you're making me really uncomfortable. Both of us. Come back!
But I would say, like, to that account, when Disney puts a character in big baggy pants where you can't see their feet or their legs or their hips, they don't normally animate that stuff. They don't normally take the effort of saying his knee would be in this position here. That's the reason they put him in those baggy clothes, to make the animation easier.
Yeah, but it's clearly a knee.
Why do you say that?
Have you
Let me see the picture.
Play the clip. Play the clip.
How is that clearly a knee?
Play the clip. Matt, that's the porn version. Matt, that's the porn version.
Oh, you didn't want to look at the little spermade?
No. Gross.
And why would his knee do that?
Because he's sitting on it like a bird. He's perched.
A bird?
Yeah, a bird.
Their knees are backwards, idiot.
Not all of them. That's just chickens.
Well, to get away from the phallic symbols, this is not one.
I'll say this about The Little Mermaid. Because we were talking about phallic symbols in The Little Mermaid and yada, yada, yada. When I was a kid and she starts turning into a human, I was like, oh, naked chick. I bet there's nipples. I was looking for those, because it's all silhouetted, but they show that kind of naked to clothes like they do in anime, because when she comes onto the boat with Eric, she has no clothes. Mm-hmm. And she wraps up in the sail. So, I mean, Little Mermaid was already geared to that in the first place.
She's 16.
I was fucking 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12-year-olds can check out 16-year-olds, and it's not creepy.
I wouldn't say it was creepy. I was just saying her age.
Oh, well, that's great for you. Good.
Okay,
I'm glad
well,
you got that out on
here's
paper.
one that y'all might remember differently.
Just like poop.
This is a movie I definitely remember watching multiple times. It's been many years, yes, but I don't remember this ever being the case, although this is apparently something Disney admitted to. If you saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Yeah,
In the
we talked about
theaters.
that last time, too.
or on the first copies that came out on VHS, apparently you can pause the movie at just the right point and see an animated Jessica Rabbit vagina.
Yes.
So I don't know. The way that I know that story is that was available on the Laserdisc. Guys, Laserdisc was like a big CD or DVD. Well, I guess a big DVD would be accurate.
Jason and the Argonauts I had on Laserdisc.
Did you? Mm-hmm. And how the fuck is that relevant?
It's not. Just like your penis hands. Ew.
Shake hands for beef. Yeah, so I don't remember it on the VHS. Not saying that it wasn't, but like the way I remember that was that it was available on the Laserdisc, and you could pause it, and she just flies. She's flying out of the car, and her legs
It's
come
when
open.
the car goes through the ooze after they dump it over, and her and Eddie are trying to get away.
Yeah.
And the car kind of like swerves. They go flying out, and she bounces on her ass, and there's
Yeah.
like a Fatal Attraction moment where she's got her legs spread toward the camera.
And her skirt flips out of the way.
Yeah.
It's literally one frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was weird. Was that Disney?
Oh, yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was Disney?
Yes.
That's so bothersome. Cool World wasn't.
Yeah, but Cool World didn't have any IP.
It did. What had? Was that
Space Jam?
what had Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny going at it?
That movie.
Really?
Yeah. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay.
Because Porky Pig does the out on it even.
Yeah.
They had Acme and like all of the things in Toontown, unless they were specific to the plot, they had to make the gun and the bullets and the weasels. Everything else was almost out of either Disney or Warner Brothers.
It was like across the cartoon verse.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the new Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, it does look. I think the new Spider-Man looks great.
I
don't want to talk about that though, because we'll go fucking way down the fucking rabbit hole on that one.
Firefly.
But one of the, talking about innuendos in cartoons now, originally we talked about how some of this stuff could just be like written off to, we have adult sense of humor, and so we pick out those adult things. Mm-hmm. One of the ones that stands out to me that, Animaniacs is one of the ones I always thought was hilarious, and you definitely know that they knew what they were talking about in that. And there was an Animaniacs where they're on a cruise ship and there's something goes missing. And all the different characters from Animaniacs are on this cruise ship, but it's still like it's focused on Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. And they're detectives trying to figure out who done it with all the characters in the Animaniac universe. And so Yakko is like the lead detective, and Dot and Wacko are kind of like his understudies, his Watsons, if you will. And there's one point where Yakko is like, okay, we need to work together and get this solved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask all the passengers here questions and get like a running idea of what was going on. Then he says, Yakko, you go and secure the boat and make sure that nobody leaves. And then it says, Dot, fingerprints. And then it cuts back to Dot, and she's got prints in her arms, and she's like, I think not. And then she throws him overboard. That was definitely an adult reference.
It was
1,000% an adult.
Yeah,
reference.
it's inarguable.
Inarguable, because why would they even have prints there?
Yeah. The one that stands out to me, and I don't. You didn't watch this because this came out kind of when we were older. This was kind of when my kids were growing up. But in Fairly Odd Parents, there's one scene where his mom bends over to get something out of the fridge, and back then is when people would wear like Juicy on their butts or their pants, and hers says "Dad's trophy."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen that in media.
yeah,
like,
that's
shown,
that's from Fairly Odd Parents,
Yeah.
and it's you can't.
Indisputable.
Yeah, it's
But then
indisputable.
there are other things in cartoons that we just kind of interpret as that because we are dirty minded and we giggle about it, but they don't make a big deal about it, and it's just a thing. Like, Who's Got the Clap? The old song from the Wiggles or the whatever. Like, that song is about clapping, not the sexually transmitted disease, the clap,
Yes.
which at that point was no longer known as the clap in the first place.
Yeah.
It was actually known as a scientific term, which
Gonorrhea.
is gonorrhea.
Yeah, it wasn't called the drip anymore either.
Yeah. Who got the drip?
Nowadays, people are like, "Oh, look at my drip,"
Yeah,
and it's like,
exactly.
you can bring somebody from the 70s and like,
I think that's
all these
stands to
kids
reason
got
that
the
if
drip.
you take anybody from any other era and move them forward, we always take colloquialisms and slang terms and we mutate them into something completely different.
Yes.
And sometimes we take words that are not slang words and mutate them into something different. One of the ones that I hate the most is the word finesse. Finesse definitely has a dictionary term, and people use it to mean
Wrongly.
you got lied to.
"Oh, you got finessed." Well, I'm
And there's a
actually
lot of
okay
people
with
that have
that.
started using it instead of finagle. When they mean finagle, they
Yes.
finessed something.
The only reason I'm okay with that is because if you con someone,
I agree that if you do it with
Wait.
a certain style,
No,
then
no.
you are finessely doing it.
no, let me finish where that comes from.
No.
So
I
you're
said
not
no.
the con is not conniving someone. The con comes from con man. Con man comes from confidence man.
Yes.
And that's the same as like finesse. It's the building up to.
I disagree. I think finesse is an action word.
I
Because
think
that's how
the
it's
people
described.
I've known
Well, if
to
you-
misuse that word are not smart enough to know that.
In the Lion
I think
King,
confidence is not an action word. You don't have the action of confidence. It's something that adds to it's an adverb.
it's an add to word.
Yeah, what do you call something?
Adjective.
Adjective. Whereas finesse is a verb. Like
Yep.
you can finesse. Like I did this with finesse.
That's
Yeah,
No.
I fucked that up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
found it, bro. Okay, cool. So in Lion King, there's a scene where they blow leaves into it's
The
leaves.
Dandy
Well, no,
Or
it's
Dandy
Simba. No, it's clouds because Simba
No, he
falls
lays
down,
down
and it's
and
a
the
dust
flowers-
cloud.
A dust
that
cloud is
goes
what it
up,
is.
and then it spells what appears to be to some people to say sex in the clouds.
And it appeared
SEX.
enough
SEX.
to Disney that they erased it. So
Well, what happened actually is that it was brought to the attention of an abortions rights or an abortions activist group against it that flipped out about it, and they were already boycotting Disney films anyway, but they made enough of a fuss about it that Disney changed it, even though that's never what it was.
So
it was actually SFX,
what does that spell?
special effects.
Civics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually SFX. It was something meant to be a hidden Easter egg put in there by the SFX team. It was never SEX.
And you know how that Easter egg comes into existence is the same way the very first Easter egg was. Because Atari was synonymous for not crediting the people that made games with their name.
That's right.
So a guy added this special screen that if you do these special things in the game Haunted House, what was it? I thought it was Haunted House. Well, I don't remember what the damn game was.
I know it's Zor's Adventure.
Oh,
Zor's Quest.
yeah, something like that. And that you had to do all this special thing, bring this key to this place, go to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the Easter egg was a screen that literally had the guy's name that programmed it because
That was it.
Atari would not put their names and shit. So when that SFX showed up, it was almost an homage to them saying, like,
Yeah.
the reason you're enjoying this is because of how good we are at what we do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Disney did the same thing Atari did and was like, oh,
But if you watch that now, because of the fact that there was all the lawsuit and all that going on, even though that's never what it was, and Disney won and didn't have to pay anything out, they still went back and changed it. So if you watch it now, Simba still falls over, the dust still comes up, but now they have a swirling pattern in it so that there are no letters visible.
Yeah, unless you speak swirl,
Yeah.
in which it says penis.
Well, one
And which it says,
one that stands out clearly to me when I was younger was Aladdin.
Yes.
Now, I actually saw Aladdin in the movie theaters when it first came out. I did not notice this part in the movie theaters. I do very much remember the same friends that I watched it in the movie theaters with going, oh my God, you have to watch it on VHS with me and hear this one part.
And see when...
Wait, what?
The part where it says, all good teenagers take off your clothes.
Wait, that's in the movie?
Yes.
What?
Yes,
Yes.
he's standing on
It's
the
scene
balcony.
when he first goes to Jasmine, and she's got the
As the
tiger with
prince.
her, and he rides the carpet up, and he's outside of her balcony, and the tiger goes running over to him to, like, lick his face, and you hear him talking to
He
the
like
tiger,
whispers something out of the side of his
and
mouth.
Jasmine says something, and then it's like, all good teenagers, take off your clothes.
You have to turn it up really loud to hear it.
Ah,
And
I
do
thought that
think-
was in a toy, and that
No,
was the
negative.
No, it was in the movie.
in the movie. And the way I found it was like later on when I was watching Aladdin, we were just sitting there watching it, and then we were like,
What
what
he
the
just
fuck
say?
did that just say? Hold on. And we rolled it back and played it again. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck
Now,
does it actually say?
I
that?
do have to say, to me, it just sounded like muffled blah, blah, blah to
Sure.
begin with until someone told me what it said.
It's Rorschach.
But once you hear that, you can't not hear it. At that point, it clearly says, all good teenagers take off your clothes.
Yep.
And they don't.
So,
Or they shouldn't. That's what I meant.
but I very much remember that one.
Huh.
I'm going to see if I can't find that audio clip.
But
so we
wasn't
can
there,
play it
am I,
for-
like, what am I thinking of? There was like an Aladdin toy or something. It was like a pull string, and its sound was something that was wildly inappropriate, or sounded wildly inappropriate, and I thought that's what that story was from.
Here's
Leave me alone.
So how's our little Bo doing? Look, mouse. Come on, good. Take off. Down,
Wait.
What's he say, though?
something about the cat because he's saying down.
Come on, good. Take off.
Oh, good teenagers.
He's saying good tiger, maybe,
Good tiger.
and then something else, but it sounds like take off your clothes.
What is it? I need to know what it actually says.
Okay, so
All good tigers, take off your clothes.
hold on. Snopes, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
The bane of my enjoyment.
Yeah.
Snopes, the fun sponge.
Okay,
Snopes,
keep talking because
the gray sprinkle on a
what
rainbow
they're saying he
cupcake.
says is, come on, good kitty, take off and go.
That's not what it sounds like, though.
I would say he would say good kitty to his tiger instead of tiger, because the tiger had a name.
He didn't know that. He was just...
This was his
Oh,
first visit to Jasmine.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Play the
As
clip
Prince
again now. Let's
Ali.
see if we can hear good kitty take off and go.
Take off and go is what they're saying it says.
Down, kitty.
Come on, good. Take off. Down,
It does sound like, if you think about that,
Come on, good. Take off.
I'm hearing Green Needle.
that's neat.
I still hear all good teenagers take off your clothes. Like, I
Are
still
you
hear
hearing
that.
Brainstorm? I'm hearing Green Needle.
I fucking hate
Leave
you.
me alone.
Down. So how's our little Bo doing? Look, mouse. Come on, good. Take off. Down.
How?
Wait.
I'm just not hearing that.
Clean the fucking ham out of your ears.
I'm saying it doesn't sound like good kitty. It sounds like good teenagers.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's like good teenagers.
Yeah,
take
I
off
think
your
it's
clothes.
a great example of
It's
not the Mandela effect, but
Subliminal
like the
messaging.
Well, not even that. It's the idea of the recorded sound. When people say they hear ghosts speaking
white
in
noise or EMP.
EMPs.
Yeah,
When they say they hear ghosts,
V
yeah,
EVP.
EVP.
yes.
That when they hear ghost and EVP and they say, "Oh my God, did you hear that?"
Yeah.
And you'll hear it.
Now
and
you
you'll be
can't
like,
not hear it.
It doesn't sound like anything to me, and they'll be like, "It sounds like he's saying this."
And
Yeah.
then you hear that.
And then you hear
Yeah.
it, and you're like, "Holy shit, it does sound like." But
Which
George
that
Washington
is
wore a
what I
dress.
think,
Yeah.
because when I first heard it, it just
Sounded
sounded like
gibberish.
mumbled gobbledygook.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't hear an actual phrase to it until someone told me what it said. But now, whenever I hear it, I can't not hear that.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we gotta take one more little commercial break, and when we come back, we got a couple more for you. I know you're excited because you're still listening, which is weird. Hey, are you okay?
Oh
No!
my God. Go.
Yeah, so I think that was a pretty good break. Pretty good sponsor there. We're back.
We're back.
For all you listeners out there who were wondering, hey, these guys are talking. Does that mean that they're back? Yep,
Yeah.
does mean that. So yeah, guys, as you can tell, we've talked about several Disney films and a couple other like little films like that, and it's funny that artists will sneak in things that aren't necessarily innuendo, things that aren't necessarily adult jokes, even though there's a ton of great examples of adult jokes and adult comedy that only the people watching, the adults watching it will get. When we say that, but you know what, kids are actually probably catching on to this stuff a lot smarter,
Yeah.
a lot faster than we are.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, there are, of course, a ton of different references. I try to stay away from newer stuff because as cartoons become more in this age, there's a lot more references that they make in cartoons and completely get away with it because of the fact that we've come that way. But when you look at Disney specifically, that's the ones that really stand out because they're definitely going for a certain age group. Toy Story, right? Mm-hmm. There's a doll in Sid's collection that has leggy Barbie doll legs, and then the rest of her is a fishing line.
It's a crane, right?
She's a hooker.
Yeah. She's an actual hooker.
Yeah. She's a hooker. So,
Got a hook on it and everything.
and it's so like underscore small. Like there was the Donald Duck thing where it's in the episode of whatever the cartoon was called back in the day when he's dealing with the water dropping and he can't get to sleep because the drip, and he actually like has an erection and he kind of pushes it
back
down.
down, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that, and they'll try to write that off as that wasn't that or whatever. But clearly there are these things in there.
In Aladdin, another one in Aladdin is that the genie says like right when they're first starting to get into the marriage ceremony and stuff, that when Jafar appears, the earth shakes and there's all this rattling. And Aladdin says, I thought the earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's all kinds of innuendo stuff that the genie says throughout the movie that would fly right over kids' heads.
Yes.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about is the poster for Lion King being the back of a woman, the lion's nose being the back of a woman. That was like a big one.
But again, a lot of this stuff like SpongeBob and any of those, like we know the comedians that are involved with that, and they would not miss a chance to make an innuendo if they
definitely
could.
not.
No. So I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I think it was pretty good.
I think so.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
We had some good conversation.
Yeah. And of course, guys, as always, if you hear us having good conversation and laughing and enjoying each other's company, we're actors. and this is probably our greatest performance. I'm already ready for the Oscar. Do they give Oscars for podcasts?
Nope.
What do they give? Oscars?
They give nothing. They give no shits about our podcast.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm fairly certain we would not be in the running for any podcast awards.
No. Because remember, like we said on the Zoom, if you don't seek out the information, put it into application, then don't be surprised when you don't come out with a Pulitzer.
Well, I'm going to be pretty upset if I don't get a Pulitzer for my acting in a informational podcast. Yeah, so...
Then the journalism award goes to...
Nobody.
Yeah. Guys, we've got another episode coming up pretty soon, actually. Right? Another episode of the podcast?
What?
As in next week?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, Sunday we'll have another episode of the podcast. Matt's shaking his head. Okay, this is the last episode of the podcast.
Thank you, guys. Stay rotten.
Stay rotten.
Stay rotten, guys.
Join us next time for another episode of Rotten Mournings.